Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera Hashgraph, or Hbar, again, as you guys already know. But today we're going to be talking mainly about the insights on, Hbar, how people are conceiving it and stuff like that. Because a lot of people think that yeah, Ethereum is pretty cool and stuff, but it is also outdated tech, so it's not going to be, prospering into anything realistic. And a lot of people kind of have a misguided, interpretation on that. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be discussing it and really kind of going in depth on stuff like that. So with that being said, if you guys have been enjoying the daily crypto news and analysis and all that kind of stuff, definitely hit that like button, subscribe, and turn notifications on if you guys haven't already, as it does help the channel grow immensely. We are building a very tight-knit, community here, and it's very, very interesting to really kind of see things growing as fast as it is, and I'm very appreciative of that, and I'm very thankful for everybody who is a part of the journey. I do wish you all success, and I do hope that we all achieve financial freedom at the end of this bull run. We are closing the gaps in, guys, and I'm very, very excited for what's happening without this entire market. So with that being said, if you guys do want to know my personal exit strategies, my plans and stuff, since we are closing that gap, you guys are more than welcome to go onto my website and find all of these incredible products that are, delivering immense amount of value. A lot of people have already been commenting on my Crusader bundle pack in the Discord and stuff, and I'm very appreciative of anybody who does purchase that, but a lot of people are enjoying the content on here, and I'm very, very excited for that. I do pretty much pour my heart and soul into a lot of these products, so if you guys are interested in that, you guys can check it out on NCashOfficial.com. But with that being said, let's just jump into it and let's talk about what is happening. So first and foremost, we do see here Ethereum fees are still a joke after its hard fork, but it's still my biggest altcoin bag regardless. I don't think that, other competing L1s are anywhere near close to replace it or take over the leadership. Now, I think that this is funny because first off, we have Level Up Trading commenting on this and says he thinks, and I quote, other competing L1s are anywhere near close to replacing Ethereum or taking over the leadership. Hedera fans, time to show him how wrong he is. It's time we wake up this crypto space. Now, first off, let's address a few things. All right, so Ethereum gas fees, absolutely ridiculous. I see a lot of people in my Discord wanting to buy Stack. They wanted to buy the Stack dip, for an example. And, for $200, you're paying like $400 gas fees. For a simple $50 transaction, actually, I just, tried to buy a degen buy. It was a meme coin buy. I play meme coins here and there, but, I tried to pay $50 and the gas fees were like $450. How could that be the future of finance when it's extremely inefficient, one. But also, two, we do see Ethereum projects leaving the Ethereum mainnet and actually coming over to the Hedera mainnet. For example, Suku. We also see, I think it was Project DM or something like that. It was a pretty interesting platform, but they are moving from Ethereum because their use cases and things that they are trying to build are just not efficient enough on Ethereum. That is a problem. Okay, so right now I would say that Hedera is far ahead of the competition. It's just not being marketed to the right individuals right now. So when we're talking about Hbar, I think that it has a great future ahead of it, short term and long term. And I honestly think that it's really given Ethereum a run for its money. And I do think that at some point in time, Hbar will really kind of show its true strength to everybody in this market that thinks that it's not as big or bigger than Ethereum. So with that being said, let's move on. And now I've actually did a little bit of a video on what Christian Hasker said on October 27th, but I do want to reiterate some attention that this tweet got. And we actually see a tweet here saying, I feel Hedera is the bridge these massive institutions will use to dethrone Wall Street as the leader of banking. It's about time for a global, trustworthy, instant leadership or leaderless system. I welcome this future. Now, first off, I personally love decentralization. I think getting away from the centralized, platforms that we use on a day-to-day basis, banking systems, social media, whatever the case may be, having one individual or having a team in charge of something to control it is never the right move. So when we're talking about what Hbar is actually doing in the financial markets, in the banking system, and all of these major districts that it's moving into and flowing into very, very fast, I think that Hbar is really making waves in the decentralization space, and I'm very happy to see Web 3.0 really kind of coming true, if you will. It's prospering in very, very fast. Things are moving very fast. And I really do look forward to the decentralization future that we are kind of marching into. Of course, there's going to be centralization like CBDCs. Wow. But when we're talking about how long away that is, I think that is still a little bit of time away. But we do know that Hbar is going to lead the way in the financial banking scene. Now we also see here, my God, I don't even know where to begin. Singapore, right? So if you guys missed it, this whole tweet came from the DBS stuff. But we check this out. Singapore minister sees a place for crypto in Asia hub. Regulated stablecoins will have a useful role. Singapore has warned public about risk of trading crypto. So when we're looking at this, we move over to here and we do see DBS Bank joins governing council of DLT Hedera Hashgraph. That's not news. We have already discussed it. But check this out. $5 billion allocated to develop the Hedera ecosystem. Of course, we already know that. But what is interesting about all of this? Okay, well, first and foremost, when we're talking about what DBS is actually focused on, we actually already know that they're focused on CBDCs. I don't know why I can't say that right now. But we already know that they're focusing on a lot of these financial sectors as well. And when we're talking about what they're trying to accomplish within that entire Asia hub, that Asia hub is really focused on crypto innovation and adoption right now. And I think that this is a huge stepping stone for us to really kind of do what Salad_bars is saying here, which is connecting all of these major, financial institutions together, and actually all these major banks together as well, through interoperability. Because we actually seen that Hedera just brought interoperability to the mainnet as well. So a lot of things are happening very fast within the CBDC, space, and I'm very excited, to say the least, about the central banking digital coins really kind of coming to, launch and seeing what happens in terms of Hbar playing a role in that. Now we also see here, all right, Coinbase, you've listed LCX, which is partnered with Hedera Suku, which runs a lot of their stuff on Hedera and has an HTS token. Now it is time to list Hbar, the L1 that is poised for the most enterprise adoption. And I have been seeing this a lot, actually. I've seen this come up a few times on my timeline, and it is true. I even mentioned this when LCX got listed. I said, it's funny because LCX is already partnered with Hbar. We've seen Suku, which already runs, on Hbar, or a lot of their stuff at least. So why wouldn't Hbar be getting listed? I mean, I can't see a point where Hbar isn't listed at some point in time this year, to be honest with you. Now we also see here Hbar is now listed for trading on MoonPay HQ and available to US customers. A lot more volume is going to be flowing in now because this is also increasing the volume that we are seeing around the world. Now I don't have to tell you guys about all of these statistics, we've talked about it, but I think that this is great from an overall standpoint because MoonPay is fairly large. It's not like a huge exchange or anything like that, but they still have 16,000 followers, and any sort of volume does add value to the Hbar ecosystem. I think any sort of listing, any sort of exchange listing, no matter small or big, is still very good for volume. The trade-in volume has been rising still significantly, up about 50.57%. We are already on Binance, Huobi, KuCoin, Bittrex, Binance, Gate.io, major exchanges already, and I'm very excited for this because there's still a few other exchanges that we could be listed on, and it seems like we are pretty much branching out and getting listed on those exchanges. I don't know if we are on Crypto.com, but I do remember us being on there. I don't know why it's not listed here. So when we're talking about all of the major exchanges, we are on there. So when the real FOMO begins, I think that it's going to move very, very fast because pretty much you can get it anywhere. Now we also see here, if this will load, no platform in crypto has so much going on as Hedera. Not only the NFT field is booming, but also use cases are blowing up in sustainability, payments, stablecoins, social tokens, as well as CBDCs, tokenization, and more. Did you guys peep how I said CBDCs that time? I don't know why I couldn't say it before. Exciting times for Hedera and still just the beginning. And it is just the beginning. There's a lot of news still to actually happen. I don't think that we're seeing the full case behind Hbar. We have to remember that there's still a lot of NDA stuff in the background, which for anybody who's new to markets and stuff like that, or doesn't know what NDAs are. Non-disclosure agreements are pretty much everywhere in the world. You see them in corporate finance and businesses and all that kind of stuff. NDAs are a huge way of businesses to kind of protect sort of information to, not get leaked or anything like that. But those NDAs could be huge. Like, I'm sure DBS had an NDA with Hedera before they launched their GC member announcement. So I'm sure that there's a lot of things going on in the background that we're just not aware of, and I'm sure it's going to be huge. Like, I'm sure there's probably a Coinbase listing already planned and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited for that. Now, we also see here, this would be indeed exciting. I think that this would be the most bullish case for Hedera. We get a nice alt season, and Hedera is one of the better performing alts. Get to maybe $1 to $3. I think that we go higher, in my personal opinion. People are starting to naturally become curious about the project and tech because it has been a good performer. Then near middle or the end of alt season, a top Hedera use case goes live. Boom, step function. I don't know how big the step would be, up to your imagination on that one, but I know it would happen overnight. An instant boost to price, putting all current holders well into the green with very little sell pressure. This would be bound to turn just about any head who keeps an eye on the crypto markets. People would be very curious to see what caused this step function. Think of everybody obsessed with things like GME and SHIB. Except this time, they look deep into the Hedera and they see the golden heart of utility, whose beat is not run on a pump but a faucet, which has simply been turned on. One faucet, then they look up and they see all turned off sinks. Then they look back down and see that they have a massive, you already know, then they look back up and it's all money. Listen, when we're talking about this, I wouldn't be surprised if we marched forward on and had something like this. I've actually discussed this in regards to what they're doing with staking in quarter 2. I think that quarter 2 of 2022 could be huge for Hbar or Hedera if they do pump well above the means of $3 plus, and a lot of people kind of FOMO in a little bit and realize, like, look at the governing council, Google, IBM, and stuff like that. Once they see that, like I said, people in this market. I do quote this tweet here because it's actually fairly funny to quote this, but we do see here, unfortunately, fundamentals and utility mean very little to nothing still in this market. If those were the case, Hbar would be a top 10 today, especially given Hedera has already surpassed both Ethereum and Bitcoin regarding real transactions. But we look at this market and people will come over to, crypto, or they'll see something trending in the news, right? For example, they'll see, Dogelon Mars, which, come on, guys. Come on. Up 141%, 301% in the 7-day span, and you see people on Twitter saying, oh, it's going to 1 cent, it's going to 1 cent, it's going to 1 cent. They don't care about the market cap. They don't care about anything like that. They will just throw their money in off of speculated gains alone. So when we're talking about what Hbar is doing and we're talking about this market, people will FOMO in just because of the governing council members alone. So when we're talking about this major move in the alt season run, could we get to the point where Hbar has this major run to $3 to $6 possibly? Because I don't think that $1 to $3 is the topping point. That's just my opinion. But again, if we get to $3 to $6 and then we pretty much kind of top out a little bit, we march into quarter 2 of 2022, and then all of a sudden here comes these major use cases, GC members possibly, whatever the case may be, and we pretty much run massively. Will we get that massive FOMO train where people are looking at this market and they're seeing Hbar being the only runner-up while everything kind of enters that bear market? Could I see that being a possibility? It's, I would say it's a lower on the scale, but it is also possible due to the staking opportunities and stuff that Hbar does have. So who knows? I'm very excited for the future on this though, and I think that this is also the idea that could this happen overnight where we do see these major things? It could, right? I think that something like this could happen overnight. We always talk about that in regards to XRP happening overnight. A lot of the stuff that's going on behind closed doors, like I said, CBDCs, all of the stuff with like centralization in terms of markets and money, a lot of that stuff will pretty much be flipped in terms of a switch. I've discussed that with even, the FedWire and also all that kind of stuff with ISO 222 tokens. I think Hbar is no different. In fact, I think that Hedera Hashgraph will play perfectly into that idea as well, because there's a lot of things happening, within the space. Like I said, going all the way back to this tweet here, where we do see, Hbar or Hedera essentially being this massive bridge for all these banks. I think that that is the case for it, right? Because you even look at FPOS or FPOS. I know a lot of people scold me for how I mention it, but FPOS and FIS Global, these are two specific countries that are in the major fintech zone that are pretty much reinventing the wheel for cross-border payments, financial markets, payments in general, even micropayments. So when we're talking about the connections that Hedera has, these are not droplets of water, in a bucket. This is the entire ocean, right? We're spreading very, very fast. Taking up a large percentage of these banking markets and the financial market entirely. So I would not be surprised if something does happen overnight where this major use case does get pretty much announced from Hedera. I could see it. I think that it is a little bit of a high possibility, but do I think that it's going to happen during the bear market or anything like that? I don't know. That's a little bit of that idea where, this year's different. We're going to continue on. I think that once we get into a utility-driven market, I think that that's where Hedera will really kind of shine above the rest. I think that that's where we really kind of put Hbar on a pedestal above all. And I'm very excited for that day to come as well. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This is Nick. Peace out, guys.